Over the last few years, we have seen so many stories in Hollywood of massive, big budget movies that have ended up being complete and total flops. Just in the past few weeks, with Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny and The Flash, these are movies that are going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars for these studios. Well, Sound of Freedom is the exact opposite of that. Sound of Freedom is a small budget movie, $14 million to be precise, that was made 5 years ago. Yet Disney refused to put this out. It was originally made distribution rights for 20th Century Fox. Disney bought 20th Century Fox, but didn't want to put it out. Strange that Disney didn't want to put out a movie about child trafficking. Weird, isn't it? Well, Sound of Freedom, nonetheless, a lot of people fought to have this movie put out there, and now it's finally in theaters, and it is dominating when you look at it compared to Indiana Jones on a per theater basis. If you would have told anybody a couple months ago that Sound of Freedom would be challenging Indiana Jones at the box office, they probably all would have told you were crazy. What's Sound of Freedom? Nevertheless, here we are. Sound of Freedom beats Disney's Indiana Jones by millions on 2,000 fewer screens on July 4th. And that just continued. It continued to be competitive throughout the weekend. Sound of Freedom dominates box office on opening day. And now when we got to the weekend, you can see Sound of Freedom, despite it being on less than 3,000 screens, was challenging Indiana Jones for second place, and on a per theater basis, made more money than Indiana Jones. $6,100 per theater compared to Indiana Jones $5,700 per theater. Now that's an embarrassment for Disney, to be sure, for something as big budget as Indiana Jones. But the way the media has been attacking this thing has really been a topic of conversation, because it's almost like they really want to convince you that this isn't a problem. They really want to convince you that a movie about child trafficking isn't somehow inherently political on one side or the other. I don't think it matters whether you're on the right or the left. Everyone should care about the disgusting things that are being done to children. And ironically, it looks like a lot of people in activist media, in the Hollywood media, want to put down this movie for some strange reason. Human trafficking film Sound of Freedom trashed by liberal outlets as QAnon adjacent. Of course, this is all coming as Jim Caviezel is talking shit about traditional mainstream media. Sound of Freedom star Jim Caviezel blasts news media for spreading lies. You don't have the power you used to. The fact that a movie that is about combating human trafficking, that is based on a true story, by the way, it's not just made up, it's not some fiction, it's not some conspiracy theory. This is a real person's life who founded the organization Operation Underground Railroad, where they have saved thousands of children who were being trafficked. It's not a lie. They even show actual footage in this movie of things that happen. And the fact that you have outlets like Rolling Stone and Washington Post that are slamming this, trying to say it's some conspiracy theory movie, while at the same time promoting something like Cuties, it really makes you wonder what the agenda is in Hollywood. And I think everybody probably understands where I'm going with that. But nevertheless, despite the media and a full court press against this movie, with almost no marketing, based almost solely on word of mouth, it made $40 million its opening six-day week at the box office. That is pretty incredible. It's already made a profit, and it hasn't even had an international release yet, anything like that. And the message that's being pushed is a very, very important one. And I think a lot of people who are now seeing this for the first time, never heard about it, all of a sudden see it challenging Indiana Jones, it makes them curious about what it is. And I don't think the media is going to have a very big impact, because to be quite honest, people don't trust the mainstream media anymore. If the mainstream media is out there attacking something like Sound of Freedom with so much vigor, it probably means that normal people are going to be curious to see what it's all about. Sound of Freedom, despite the fact that Hollywood and the mainstream media don't want it to succeed, it is doing incredible things at the box office.